Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to another video. So this video we're going to talk about fade in. We're going to talk about how to fade in information, fade in animation. So let's get a project going here. Start a new project, and let's bring it over here. Call it fade in. We'll just call it animation 2. Keep it as that, and hit next. Keep everything the same here. Empty activity. Everything that we've been doing is all the same. All right. Adjust this a little bit so we can get somewhat of full screen going here. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. All right, there we go. Hopefully you can see the whole screen now. All right, so what we're gonna do now is the last thing we created an animation XML file, so we're going to do similar to that. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to create a different folder, and I am going to, and it's going to fall underneath here. So I'm going to create, right click, new folder, and where's the folder directory, and I'll call it animate. All right, and then I want to add an XML file to this. So let's see here, file, I'll call it fade in underscore animation.xml. All right, so now I'll write some code. I'll do, here, I'll type in question mark XML. This is stuff that's usually boiler paint it in here, so I'll just put it in here, equals 1.0. so this actually means nothing. It's usually a boilerplate, but I don't have it in here. Encoding equals UTF 8 is good. We'll do a question mark, and then we'll come down here and we're going to set something. So we're going to do set XMLNS Android equals, it's ridiculous when you remember this stuff. It's res Android. That's what we need. All right. So this is just stuff that usually comes with Android, but it didn't. All right. So in this case, we'll do something called alpha. And then what we're going to do is set like duration. We're going to set properties up. So the first property, we're going to do Android. And we are going to do Android : duration. So how long you want something to play. So 3000. We'll go off of milliseconds. We'll do Android from alpha, and this will be positioning 0.0 to start off. We'll do Android, and we'll do interpolator. So it's a location. Interpolator equals, and it'll be location somewhere. We'll talk about that later. So for now, it's going to be animate. That folder that we have here, / it's going to be something that we don't have right now, but let's just again do this, and then we'll start at 1.0. so we'll do Android to alpha. We'll start at 1.0, and we'll close this. Okay, so this is the file that you want to start off with. So you want to have this information here. It allows you to do what you need. All right, I was trying to increase the font and make this bigger, but that wasn't working out too well. All right, so we have this information here. So this is a start to get us going here. So you know what I was thinking is, as I'm writing this program, we could probably use our current thing that we have in place, and that will make our life easier. So this is what I'm going to do. Is I started thinking about this. So now, and this is what I was basically going to have us do is write the whole code again. And let's not do this. So let's pull up, I think it was frame animation 2. New window. Yeah, so this is our project. Just to double check. And we could just add the code here and make some changes and build off of this. I'm sorry for having you create a new project, but this makes the most sense instead of us having to do it over. All right, probably want to make that smaller, but anyhow. So what we'll do here is we'll go here, make life easy, I'm going to copy this folder here, copy it. I'm going to come over to residential resources, let's see, residential, and hit paste, and I'll hit OK, and it should, and which it does, put what we need to put over here. This is good. So let's actually change this while I'm thinking about it. Let's do something else. I made a mistake here, so it's anticipate overshoot. So we want overshoot. That's what we want to work here. So I'm going to close out this old project that we didn't really do anything with yet, and we'll use the one that we already have up and running, which makes the most sense. So less coding. All right, so what we're going to do here is, because we're going to do a fade. Oh geez, hope you can hear me. Some cars going by my house really fast. All right, and really loud. So I'm going to comment this out for now, and let's go over to, I think I want to come here. Let me think about this. So it's image view, activity main, and that's not where I'm going. I want to come over to here, I think. Let me think. All right, so what we want to do is we want to add something here. So I went into the design mode, frame animation, go into text, and what I want to do is add another line here so that we point to where we want it to go for now. We want it to go to A1. So what I'm going to type here is Android, and here I'm going to do source. We're going to give it a source value. It'll be drawable because that's the directory that we're pulling from. And let's see, drawable, I can't even spell. /B, what is it called? A1, yeah, A1. So we don't have to do .png. That right there will hit that. It'll hit that source where we want it to start at. All right, so we want to make sure that we're on our main activity Java, and we're going to add some code and do some different things here. So we're, as you remember, we added the this onTouch event, and we just didn't do much with it. So now we're going to add some other information and maybe stop some information and so forth. So what we don't want to happen is we don't want this to start when we click it. So we're going to comment it out for now. I'm going to come down here and type in handler. I'm going to do handler, call it my handler equals new handler. So we're initiating a new, that existing class. And then we're going to call our handler, whatever we call it. I call it my handler. I'm going to say .post delayed. I'm going to delay the post, the action. I'll send it a new runnable. And okay, did a lot of stuff there. All right, so let me see where I'm at because that caught me off guard. We have an override. We have a run. That's good. So now we need to code the animate or the I can't even talk, the run. So I'll call it animation, and I'll say start animation. So as you see here, right away we're missing something. So we're missing the come on, buddy. I'm using a Windows keyboard on a Mac computer. It doesn't like that. All right, so let's see what we need here. Import android.view.animation, I think. Cool, that works. So we had it start when we clicked it. Now we're doing something else. We're setting this override in here. So we're going to call it start animation equals animation utilities, and we'll do .load animation, and now we want to pass in a parameter which is get application context. So get application context, we're gonna have to take that out for a second here and do a comma, and then we need to grab the resource r.animation we're going to use something called fade in animation. Put the parentheses there and semicolon. Then we'll call our image, which was called bird image, and we'll do bird image dot start the animation, and then we'll pass in start animation. Boy, it does not like any of that, does it? Beautiful. All right, figure out what's going on here. This is always fun when it looks like that because it doesn't look good. All right, let's see what we're missing here. All right, hit enter. So we have this guy here. Then let me see here. I think we have to pass in a millisecond, something like that, and then we have that, which is 5 seconds. Let's see, return on Super One Touch. Okay, so that's right. So depending on what version you have, if you're running an older version, this right here won't appear. So this is something new that appears and shows delay milliseconds. So 50 would be 5 seconds, 500 would be 50 seconds, and so forth. So we'll just make it 5 seconds. So kind of review this. We set up this handler. We call it new handler. So this handler is being used as more like an event. And so we're taking a handler and we're accessing that property of that object. So that object has something called post delayed, and we put on a delay, and then we run it, and we call our resource and start the animation a little bit different. So we're controlling how we flow this bird. So let's go ahead and try it now, see if this actually works. You'll see what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, so if I hit the button, it fades in, it fades out. It fades in. Well, it doesn't fade in and out, but you see what I mean. You click the button, it fades in. Now, it would be cool to have that. It would be cool to also figure out a way that when we do that, then it starts moving like we had before. So that right there ends that video. But for this week's assignment, one of the things I want you to do is task number 1 will be you follow this and do the animation, but then I want you to go back and retrigger some things that allow it to animate and move its wings with the other images. So see if you can figure that out. That will be part of your homework assignment. If you have anything you need, please contact me. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.